What if the 12 tribes of Israel were part of a pattern written not only upon the earth but reflected in the heavens? 12 sons, 12 tribes, ancient symbols, celestial signs. The connection is fascinating, but to understand it, we must begin with Jacob and Genesis. Israel began as a family. Jacob, whom God renamed Israel, had 12 sons. Their descendants would become the 12 tribes, each carrying its own history and identity. But before Jacob died, he gathered his sons together and spoke words over them that would echo for generations. Genesis 49 records Jacob's final words to his sons, but these were more than simple farewells. His prophetic blessings contained striking images: a lion, a serpent, a donkey, ships, a wolf, fruitful branches, and more. Each image became associated with the destiny of a tribe. Judah received perhaps the most famous symbol. Jacob called him a lion's cub and declared that the scepter would not depart from Judah. Centuries later, Revelation would identify Yeshua as the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the king whose authority ultimately fulfills Jacob's ancient prophecy. Dan received a very different image. Jacob said Dan would be a serpent beside the road, striking at the horse's heels. It is one of Genesis 49's most mysterious tribal descriptions. Once again, an earthly tribe was described through the imagery of a creature carrying symbolic meaning. And the imagery continues. Zebulun is associated with the sea and ships, Issachar with a strong donkey, Benjamin with a ravenous wolf, Joseph with a fruitful branch. Genesis presents Israel not simply as 12 names, but as 12 distinct identities surrounded by vivid symbolic language. Later, in the wilderness, God commanded Israel to camp according to an organized pattern. The tribes did not simply place their tents wherever they wanted. They surrounded the tabernacle in designated groups, while the sanctuary of God's presence remained at the center of the nation. Numbers describes 4 principal divisions around the sanctuary: Judah toward the east, Reuben toward the south, Ephraim toward the west, and Dan toward the north. 12 tribes organized around one sacred center. Israel's wilderness camp was a picture of structure, identity, and divine order. Now look upward. Scripture repeatedly presents the heavens as part of God's ordered creation. Psalm 19 declares that the heavens proclaim the glory of God, and the skies display His handiwork. For the biblical writers, the heavens were not gods. They were witnesses to the glory of their Creator. Psalm 147 says, God determines the number of the stars and calls them each by name. The biblical message is clear. The stars do not control God. God controls the stars. Every light in the heavens belongs to Him, and the extraordinary order above ultimately points back to its Creator. Then comes a fascinating word. In Job 38, God asks whether Job can bring forth the Mazzaroth in its season. Its precise meaning remains debated, but it is commonly connected with constellations or the seasonal progression of the heavens. The Bible itself acknowledges an ordered celestial realm, but Scripture draws a firm boundary. Israel was warned not to worship the sun, moon, or stars. The heavens could declare God's glory, mark seasons, and display His order, but they were never to replace their Creator. Biblical celestial imagery is therefore not permission to practice astrology. And then the number 12 appears again at the Bible's conclusion. John sees the New Jerusalem with 12 gates, and upon those gates are written the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. The family introduced in Genesis reappears in the architecture of Revelation's final vision. But Revelation goes further. The city has 12 gates bearing the tribes' names and 12 foundations associated with the apostles of the Lamb. From Israel to the apostles, the number 12 repeatedly marks God's covenant people. What began with one family reaches toward a restored creation. And at the center of that final city, there is no need for the sun or moon to illuminate it. Revelation says the glory of God gives it light, and the Lamb is its lamp. The tribes, the apostles, the heavens, and every biblical pattern finally point beyond themselves to Yeshua, the Lamb.